Hi, I'm Jilly G. Welcome to my kitchen, and today we're going to make rhubarb cheesecake bars. And so first up is the crust. I have 1 cup of butter. I already cut it up so it's a little bit of a head start. So 1 cup of butter in this bowl. And I also have my oven preheated to 350. So into here I have 2.5 cups of my gluten-free flour mix. And we'll just pour that in. 1 cup of gluten-free oats. And so we're just going to start cutting this butter into the dry mixture. And butter knife, keep it handy to help. So once your butter is cut up into your dry ingredients, again, use your butter knife here to clean out any big chunks there. And I have a fork here. I'm just going to stir it around just a little bit. And so now we're going to add in the sugar part. And I have a 1/2 cup of honey and about a tablespoon of molasses. I use the molasses because normally you'd use a brown sugar in this kind of crumble crust. But because I don't use sugar, I'm using honey and then the little bit of molasses to help give it that little bit of a caramely flavor that brown sugar would. So honey in there, and now for the molasses. And just start mixing it around. And once it starts to get all kind of mixed together and crumbly, clean off the spatula. I'm going to start using my hands and just make sure all of these little bits of dry flour pockets on the bottom are mixed in. Okay, so now it's a little, it's more of a wet crust than it would be if you used brown sugar. It's not as crumbly, but 9 by 13 pan, and I'm going to put most of it in here, just kind of piece it in here a little bit. We're going to save some to sprinkle on the top. And then I'm just going to start patting it out. So once we've got our crust flattened out pretty good in the 9 by 13, set that aside. Set aside the rest of this and we'll crumble this on the top when we get the filling in there. So just set this aside, save the fork for later. In this bowl, I have 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese, room temperature. So 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese. We're going to beat this till it's pretty well mixed. And 1 cup of honey. And mix this together. Scraping down the bowl. I have 2 eggs, also room temperature. Pour those in. 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 1 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. All in there. And just mix this till it's really combined. Scraping down the bowl. Okay, that looks really good. We're finished with the beaters. I'm going to scrape down the bowl one more time just to make sure nothing's hanging out on the bottom there. And I have frozen rhubarb. Well, it's thawed, but when my rhubarb is ripe, I cut it up into small pieces and I put it in the freezer for recipes like this so I can use it all throughout the year. And so 3 cups of thawed frozen rhubarb, and we're just going to fold this in. That's looking really good. If you noticed, I had it over a dish here just to let it draining. You don't want it to be too soggy in your cheesecake filling. So bring back our crust and we'll just start pouring it in. And spread it out. Okay, that looks really good. And bring back our crust topping. And I'm just going to break it up just a little bit with a fork here. And just start sprinkling on the top. Okay, once you've got all of your crumble topping on the top of this, we're going to bake it in the oven. If you want a thicker crust on the bottom, just put more in there and reserve less for the top. This is actually a double batch, and so you could do this in a 9x9, and it would be a little bit thicker of a cheesecake bar, but this is what we're doing today. So into the oven, again at 350 for about 40 minutes until, you'll notice it's kind of liquidy, till the filling is set and it's golden brown. Looks pretty good. It's puffed up quite a bit. You can see it's golden brown around the edges, and so I'm just going to let this cool off before we cut into it. And you'll notice that there's no jiggle in the middle anymore, and that means it's finished. And it didn't go the full 40 minutes. Everyone's oven is different. We'll just let this cool off and then we'll cut it and see what it looks like on the inside. So my rhubarb cheesecake bars are cooled off, and so let's cut a little piece here. Looks pretty good. Pretty good. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, let me know, and we'll see you on the next one.